Hi, I'm Charles with AniCap. This is part 2 of my recap for the anime The Last Summoner. Part 1 is in the description below. We're almost at 70,000 subscribers, so please consider subscribing. Thank you. The story continues as we see that the animal outbreak is under control. Meow speaks through the cat girl spirit and explains how even animals like herself can be summoners. The most amazing is her brother. Mentioning him makes her sad, however, and she explains that her search for him is what led her to this city. It seems like he had been avoiding her, and so she decided to cause a big commotion in the hopes that he would notice her. Aji says to not worry as he is sure she will find him, and he will help her recover with food in the meantime. However, we see outside that they are being watched. The next morning, Aji wakes up as Dora games and answers his doorbell to find a group of suited men. They inform Aji that he is invited to Hana's residence for dinner, and don't take no for an answer. They arrive at her giant mansion and are greeted by Hana. Dora wonders if the master of the house is actually Bruce Wayne, as Greenball shows off their advanced security cameras and electric fence. They see servants as they do yard work and the gardener as he waters and fertilizes the plants. Their chef is also a spirit, which makes Meow wonder how many summoners are actually there. Greenball reveals that it is just one, and they will be able to meet him very soon. Greenball explains that they should be more respectful in front of the statue of the first leader of the Watchers, and Aji can hear the voice of a woman call his name. He then has a vision of her, but snaps out of it when he reaches out, and explains to everyone that he must have just spaced out. They finally arrive to meet Hana's grandfather, Harlan, master of the house and the head of the Black Rose family. Dora only sees him as a regular old man, but gets a taste of his power when he requests that they take a seat. Harlan explains that all things have a spirit, and the legend goes that the source of all spirits is a single crystal. Wars have been waged over it for centuries, and summoners have been divided into two camps. One side lets nature run its course and protects the balance of the world. They are called the Watchers. The other side steals all summoning powers by any means necessary and seek to take over the world. They are called the Destroyers. Harlan explains that all summoners must make the choice eventually and asks if he will choose justice or evil, to watch or to destroy. Dora says she chooses the Avengers, and Meow picks the Justice League. Aji explains that his parents told him to not join the Mafia, as all that violence has no future. Harlan explains that he knows his parents abandoned him when he was 5. He is a model student with 2 part-time jobs and dyes his hair to hide its natural blonde color. He predicts that Aji probably still has a picture of his parents in his wallet. Harlan knows Aji believes that everything that has happened recently has all been a coincidence. Not actually knowing who Dora is or the identity of his parents, Harlan wonders if he has ever thought everything might be connected somehow. Dora wants to see if Harlan is correct and ends up finding a picture of Aji's parents. Harlan continues by explaining how he knows that Meow is in search of her brother and that he is now a notorious criminal wanted all over the world, an assassin for the Destroyers. Hana believes Harlan has gone a bit too far as the trio are stunned and offers them to stay at the manor for a few days so he can answer any questions they have. Missing school won't be an issue either, as he is the principal. As they enjoy their meal, Harlan remarks how Dora is so unique that he can't even tell what element she is. He goes on to say that he has heard rumors of how beautiful her true form is, and she promises to show him, as after taking a closer look, he is quite handsome too. Just then, they come under attack by a large person Harlan says is a destroyer. He notes how it's been years since his last encounter with this enemy, and will make sure that neither he or his allies will be leaving there that night. Harlan shows his excellent mastery of different elements in battle, but after the man displays his own destructive power, he determines the area is no longer safe. Hana explains they will only get in the way if they stay, and Harlan makes her promise to keep Aji safe. The group manage to get outside, only to find the entire manor has been destroyed. The servants beg that they run for their lives, but a woman appears and eliminates them. The group try to fight her, but she is too powerful. Mid-fight, Meow is distracted as she can see her brother in the distance. He makes quick work of the suited spirits and the chef as well. She is glad to have finally found him, but he does not share the feeling as he attacks her. Aji springs into action but is forced into a vision where he is embraced by a woman who repeats his name, and he refers to her as his mother. The vision turns dark and we see that he is actually unconscious as Dora tries to wake him. Up above, Harlan's fight goes airborne and he begins to dominate the large man. He demands that he ask his leader to show himself if he does not want to die. Hana can tell her grandfather is winning, but her fight is not going so well. A new foe appears and requests they descend into darkness together as she cuts her throat. Harlan notices and manages to stop the bleeding but can't finish healing her when he is interrupted. While trying to save Hana and holding off his opponent, Harlan is ambushed by the other destroyers and shot in the head. He has the thought of his beloved granddaughter as he releases a powerful burst of energy. The destroyers attempt to finish the job, but Harlan has become stronger than they could have imagined. As they bear witness to his immense power, their final member of their group appears, claiming that he has waited for this day for so long. He removes all of Harlan's power, bidding him farewell and stating that their objective is now complete. They acknowledge that the others are still alive, but their leader says to leave them as they will be useful in the future. Aji and the others are completely at a loss when a news report shows the aftermath. The report reveals that an investigation shows that both Harlan and his family are currently missing. Dora is extremely frustrated as they don't even know who the enemies are and she wants revenge. Miao explains that it might be difficult to find them as she had been looking for her brother for years, only to find that he has become a villain. Aji explains that they need to stay calm since the difference in strength is huge and they should gather information. Dora mistakenly thinks he is just playing on his phone and he reveals he has found a lead. Someone had livestreamed the entire battle, and after checking their account, Aji found that it was full of news and articles about summoners. The information is very accurate, which makes him believe the person must be a summoner, and finding her will be the key to finding the destroyers. They go to find the girl and leave Greenball to watch over Hana, as Aji promises to make her attackers pay the price. Elsewhere, we watch as the girl uses her technological skills to force a train to stop, and an escalator to change directions. Her abilities seem to also play a role as we see her change some displays throughout the city. She finally arrives to her book signing for her new comic called The Mo Summoner, but no one seems to care. Our trio spot her and Aji wants to check if she's good or evil first, but Dora says she is only a little girl so they should just knock her out and drag her back. The girl laments how she hasn't sold a single copy and decides that she should add more explosions next time. Aji arrives complimenting the masterpiece that is her comic, and the girl gives a one-time offer of buy one get 10 free. Aji agrees to buy all the copies for his collection, and the girl deems the signing to be a success. She shocks him by revealing she knows his name and the names of all his hidden friends. Dora has had enough and demands that she give all her information including height, weight, zodiac, and horoscope. She answers all her useless questions and Aji wants to know about her ability. She reveals she is simply good at mobile games. Dora thinks she is a loser, but the girl reveals that she knows all the sensitive information about the world's most powerful leaders. She also knows that they weren't actually attacked by 5 destroyers last night, but 7. She is not to be underestimated, and Aji now knows he found the perfect person to help. Dora takes the phone and thinks the girl is a pervert for having vision on so many cameras, but she shows her all the technically advanced things she can do with it. Just then, they are attacked as the phone reveals suspicious targets approaching them. Dora looks to her for the next step and she simply says it's time to run. She warns that they shouldn't follow her since the attackers are after her. Dora wonders who they could be and she explains she has many enemies like Russian arms dealers, American CIA, and even Mexican cartels. She explains that it is just the fate of a superhero. They are able to escape momentarily as they jump off a bridge. The girl controls the car as she reveals that the chase is not over. There are 4 pursuers that are black spirits, mechanical in nature, and are also destroyers. She reveals that they are after her because she has been trying to hack into the destroyer headquarters servers, and that the spirits belong to the mean-looking destroyer lady. She underestimated the spirits as it seems that they are upgraded versions of what she is used to. Miao and Dora's attacks are easily evaded, but the girl manages to take one out. However, the other mechanical spirits unleash a barrage of attacks that Aji is barely able to block. The girl prays that they don't have any explosives, but it doesn't work as the spirits launch missiles. She's happy to see that their attacks missed, but realizes they had actually been aiming at the bridge. Dora begs for their lives as it seems that they have lost, just as the girl calls upon the help of a nearby vehicle. However, the spirits continue their assault and the girl reveals one last trick she has up her sleeve. She controls the transformer and is able to take out the rest of the mechanical spirits easily, even as one tries to escape. She celebrates a bit too fast as the mech leaks fuel, but she is confident it won't catch fire. As the fire consumes it, she is certain that it won't explode. Her robot explodes and she laments how all those animes have lied since mechas aren't scientifically possible. Just then, it is revealed that the girl had been wearing a disguise, and Aji remembers him as the boy from the festival. Dora believes that he is a crossdresser, and he says that he did it since summoners must keep their identity hidden. Aji then formally invites him to join their group and become their eyes. The boy wants to think about it first, but does admit it could be interesting, and he reveals his name to be Stan. Later, Stan shows the group his secret laboratory, home, and moving fortress. Aji explains that their current objective is to gather as much information on the destroyers as possible, and Stan shows them a map where he has been plotting areas with fluctuations in spiritual energy. Green dots mark dormant spirits, and red are destroyer activity. What they see now is from a month ago, but as he moves the timeline forward, it is apparent that the red dots start to swallow up the green ones like crazy, signifying that the destroyers are stealing spirits. He shows how there were many green dots at Harlan's castle, and Aji compares the destroyer's attack to robbing a bank vault. Stan also reveals how there had never been much summoning activity, but after March 17th, spiritual power started fluctuating all over. They try to think about what was so special about that day, and Aji reveals that was the day he summoned Dora. Stan does not believe in coincidences and asks who Dora really is. She struggles to answer, and the group don't push further as they will just investigate where recent fights have taken place. They can't believe the state of the manor, and Dora vows for revenge as Stan enters his device into recon mode. He is able to access the memory of one of the security spirits and uses that in combination with satellite imagery to reconstruct the crime scene. He determines that the large destroyer is codenamed Ruthless and uses a portal to ambush from above to bypass their defenses. Stan makes the assumption that there must have been a dimensional summoner behind the portal. The other destroyer is codenamed Flame, a fire element summoner that uses firearms and explosives. The next destroyer is Miao's brother, who she says has become a different person because of something the destroyers must have done. His codename is Crow, and like Miao, he is an animal summoner. Aji explains that it was then when he was transported to a strange but familiar place that became a nightmare. Stan believes his mind had been hijacked, but can only manage to get the afterimage of this destroyer. The sixth assassin is the one that took Hannah down, and is codenamed Shadow, a cold-blooded summoner of illusions. Stan reveals that the one who landed the final blow on Harlan was the destroyer's boss. Not only can he absorb spirits, but souls as well. He is a Grim Reaper through and through. Stan explains that their objective in the attack is hidden somewhere down in the large crater they left. The group go down to explore and credit the Dimensional Summoner for doing such massive damage. Stan puts up an image of what the underground chamber had looked like originally, and they are amazed at all the sealed spirits. Stan explains that as watchers, Hannah's family has collected and sealed summoned spirits for years, locking them away and protecting them. They are saddened to think how Harlan had worked so hard to save their lives, and Stan explains how he was the strongest, most capable summoner he has ever seen. They then discover a chunk of the Ruthless Destroyer's stone body and notice that it has a unique scent. Miao is able to recognize it as a unique flower that only grows in the stone forest. Stan is able to detect that there is only one summoner there, and Aji contemplates whether or not they should go. It could be a trap, and even if it isn't, their chance of beating a destroyer is less than 10%. They are all enthusiastic as Aji can't believe how foolish they are being, but realizes he can't hold back either, and they all agree to take on the destroyer. Thanks for watching part 2 of this series. All other parts will be linked in a pinned comment below.